Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Well, happy Saturday evening to my beautiful coffee beans. Come on into the chat. We got a lot to go over tonight.
I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty channel. I'm Bullhorn Betty, and we are covering the case of Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old grandmother that was snatched out of her home in the middle of the night and hasn't been seen or heard of since. Well, good evening, my beautiful coffee beans. It's nice to see you. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're covering the case of Nancy Guthrie. She disappeared. She was snatched out of her house, folks. She was snatched out of her house. We see it, part of it on camera. And she's an 84-year-old frail, feeble grandmother and a mother of a very famous person known as Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show. She's a co-host on the Today Show. She's interviewed Epstein's victims. She's interviewed presidents. She's had positions on a lot of different and sometimes controversial issues. Did this play a part in why her mother was snatched out of her home? I don't know. But, law enforcement did give us a little snippet. We were able to, thank God for whatever they've got with Google that requires them to have some rainy day, something about if something crashes, they have to have some type of backup mechanism because they are so valuable to our country. Google is a valuable entity to our country. Every single person I know uses some type of Google product in their every single day life. Sound low? Okay, thank you. Am I not up? I must be. Hold on, let me check my system sound. Thank you. Give me a second. I don't know why it pops my sound back, but it does every now and again. You're right. It's popped it back again. I don't know what does that. I don't know why it does that. I check my other sound too. My other sound's fine. Sorry about that. Well, I'm glad you guys let me know. All right. Well, I'm here. Hello. Now I probably sound like I'm yelling because all of you guys probably turned your volume way up and then somebody let me know and I caught it earlier enough and now I'm back and you're like, whoa, Betty. Whoa, you're loud. Of course I am. I'm born. Of course I'm loud. I see some people across the pond joining us. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I see that it's ridiculously early in the morning, so we don't anticipate you going to sleep for any time soon, especially if I'm on stock right now, on tap. It's nice to see you folks coming in. Again, I'm Bullhorn Betty. Listen, folks, we've got a lot to go over and dive into with this case. Plus, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. We are going to have a call-in show this evening. Everything's already set up. We're now in the analysis area of this, right? So you typically, if this is like your first time you following a true crime content creator or you being involved in a true crime case live on social media, if you've never experienced, it's definitely different. Especially if you're following somebody that's boots on the ground out front. There's a few of us out there. There was never once any of us. And then, there was a time we kicked in the front door. We shocked the entire YouTube market. And now we have a lot of people that go out and that really was the name of the game, getting more people up and out of their offices and from behind their computers and getting out there from in the field, because people are journalists and our journalism has died and failed on us. But I'm not going to get into that kind of conversation for tonight. Tonight, I'm upset because it sounds like a bunch of good-hearted people came into town to help search. We're asking, where's the search parties? Where are the people coming in and helping? And now they're getting pushed back from the sheriff. Sheriff Nanos, you do not own Arizona. You do not own Tucson. You cannot tell people they can't go out and search on public property. Sir, that is wrong. 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 Okay? You can't do that, sir. And until somebody calls you and tells you that somebody's trespassing and they are the actual owner, then you got nothing to worry about, bro. I think his biggest concern is they fouled up this case, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to have another pissing contest with another idiotic sheriff that wants to stand in his own damn way. I don't know what it is with these people. I can't. So, it's time for me to get to work. It's time for me to get to work. So I can't, and I'm not going to dog the sheriff. The sheriff, you know, obviously they're ill-equipped to deal with this case. It's, you know, and it's not a bad thing. It just means that their area, either one of two things happen. And I was going to say their area is fairly, you know, crime-free, but I don't believe that. I believe we've had a lot of law enforcement sticking their head into the stand. That's what I believe we have. Because after Nancy Guthrie case, seeing all these people creeping around in the middle of the night with all those innocent families and children lying in their homes on the, you know, with all these things going on the outside, that's pretty stinking scary. That's pretty stinking scary for me. I don't like that. That is a complete and utter failure of personal safety, of public safety, of every type of imaginable safety metric that you can have. That is a failure. Failure. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care if you want to say it's because of the University of Arizona. I am sick of the buck being passed. At the end of the day, we all have just watched this lady be snatched from her freaking home in the middle of the night. Nobody knows what the hell happened to her. Meanwhile, we've got videos after videos coming in from this area. And we've got a lot of different creepers going around creeping in the middle of the night. Different people, not even the people that snatched this poor lady from her freaking home. And so it's very frustrating. And I can be calm, cool, and collected until we start dealing with sheriffs that are so arrogant that not only are they dropping the ball publicly in such a magnificent way, they get people to come out there to help them, to stay out of their way, but to search, to feel like they're doing something meaningful, and they get threatened by a sheriff. Well, sheriff, you better bring out some handcuffs. Because I'm going to tell you, you're not going to sit here and intimidate me from coming out there and searching on public property or otherwise. Because again, if homeowners are not calling you, you have no business to even interfere. So let's get some things straight right now. For all the people that are out there doing their job, volunteering their time, continue to do it. If this bonehead is seriously going to drop the ball so magnificently in front of the public and then tell you that you need to go get a permit to search for an elderly woman, I would look at him and laugh. Give me the damn ticket and move out of my way, sir. That's where I am going to be. Give me the damn ticket and move the hell out of my way. And if you want your officers to follow me and ticket me every 5 minutes, by God, we'll raise the money, okay? Insanity. Absolutely insanity. Good cat. Oh, nice to see. Oh, look who it is. Big hugs and loves to you, babe. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you ain't ready to pull your hair out like I am. I think you're dealing with a lot better stuff than me. Keep up the good work, my friend. Keep up the good work. I'm going to give you a round of applause. And a kiss. And a kiss. You get a kiss, too. You get a kiss. You get a kiss. There you go. There you go. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. So that's kind of where we are, okay? You know, at the end of the day, this is an elderly woman. We're going on week 4, okay? I could really care less about what this you know, I back the blue. This channel here backs the blue, but we don't deal with boneheads, okay? I don't deal with boneheads. I don't like it. I don't deal with it. I play nice with it. I mean, I can guarantee me and this officer will play just fine because he's going to understand I know the law and I'm going to understand he knows the law. And we're going to know right where we stand. And he'll move out of my way and I move out of his way. We'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. But before we get started, I see Jonathan is already on. He's talking right now, so I want to hear what he has to say because he's pointing some stuff out.
Here. It's getting cold out here. I'll be back later. If they do a manhunt tonight, or if they do some sort of SWAT, we're jumping back in the car and we'll follow them to the scene. I am JLR Investigates. Thanks everyone for the support. Justice for Nancy. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, so he's done. I had it pulled up just in case we were going to be, and I saw him pop in there, so I wanted to make sure we got back there. Nothing major happened out there today. I mean, there was a few things, but nothing major. And we're going to be going over this before I open the phones up and just kind of getting the lay of the land. As we all know, there was a glove found, okay? Multiple gloves that were found out there. But there's one that has now rose to the cream of the crop because a couple of the neighbors decided to break their silence. He's signing off and going to bed. What is bed? What is sleep? What is... I feel like this is the Sebastian Rogers case 2.0, but I'm still not. I'm back in PA. We got to chat later. Okay, love. We'll do. We will do that. But hopefully we can chat tomorrow. Well, I'm about to be leaving. I'm about to be in Tennessee. If you're not doing anything, you want to come over and hang out in Tennessee, come over and hang out in Tennessee, babe. We'll be over in Tennessee for a solid week. You can camp out with me. I know it sucks to have freedom of speech. You know what? We have this thing called freedom of speech as long as our politicians agree with it. And I'm the boil on the ass of a politician. So you know what? My local politicians cringe when they see me. At least some of them do. Some of them actually like me. Some of them used to like me but pissed me off, and now we're just not friends. So, anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to this case. So we have a situation. We're going to be doing two things today. We're going to be looking at the video of the assailant. We're going to try to blow up some areas that have come under scrutiny over the last few days, and we're going to be opening up the phone lines to talk about either that or to focus in on an area or if you guys just have some ideas, some perspective and everything like that. I will tell you, and this is one thing that I try to warn people on, but it happens in every high profile case. When law enforcement, I feel like I need to give this caveat, and I'm sorry, I'm sure some of you guys know this and what have you, but this is for other people. When we have a high profile case, I know that when you're listening to these programs and hearing things, something may pop in your head, or you may think of something and you're like, I hope law enforcement thought about that. Or you might have heard a perspective on one of these channels and you say, oh my gosh, law enforcement needs to hear this, right? No, they don't. When law enforcement gives out a 800 number or a tip line, those are specifically for people that have actual information directly related to the case, physical or verbal evidence. Okay, this is not for hyperbole. This is not for suggestions. This is not for your opinion. This is not to help them out. This is not to give them your 2 cents or your 3 cents or your 4 cents. Okay, it's not for that. It's for the people that have literally direct information related. They can kiss my ass. This is for when they're directly related, okay? Directly related to the victim, the case, or evidence or information, okay? And I know sometimes it's very, very hard to do that. But we need to make sure, because when law enforcement starts saying, hey, people are calling in with what? Those 800 numbers, those tip lines are not for your suggestions. They're not for your Domino's pizza order. They're for people that have actual information. And you might think that your information is actual information to give them, but if you don't know these people, you have not been here, you don't know the suspect, you don't know the victim, you don't know their family, and you're watching from millions of miles away, you probably have no information that requires a telephone call on that tip line, okay? So I just want to make sure that, we understand our role in here. The reason why people like me open up our chat box is to let you vent and put those things out. I can promise you, law enforcement does pay attention. They may not be here in Bullhorn Betty's chat, but I promise you, they are paying attention. They have scrapers too. They have tools of the trade too. They have ways of finding out information from social media. They probably have better tools than all of us. I'm just saying. So if we don't have any actual evidence, if you don't know, this person knows this person and was there and saw this, you probably don't need to be calling that tip line. So I'm done making my point. I appreciate you kindly. I want to thank everybody that comes here every single day and really tries to help these cases out. And we want to continue to do that. And if your case needed your style of high pressure, should help out. I don't care for the tactics, but the sheriff needs motivated. Okay. And driving but listening. Well, thank you there, Miss Robin. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, love. We appreciate you. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, I've got a few things that I do want to show you guys before we open up these phone lines and start diving into this. I don't know the best way to do the images. I think what I'm going to have to do is take a picture of the background and then go in there with Canva. I think that's the best way I'm going to do it on here. I'm going to download those images and work on them for my computer or for my phone, because I find that I work on my phone majority of the time with my video editing. Believe it or not, I've got a 1 terabyte phone. I don't have a standard 128, 256. This is a terabyte phone. So I have I've got my video editing program on here because I work on my phone majority of the time. Okay. I run my studio on my computer, and I have a lighter computer to travel with, a laptop to travel with. That's kind of how my setup works. Okay. So this has all the professional equipment on it. This does not. So we'll do what we have with the tools that we have on this computer, which is Canva. And we'll try to, I think I can do it. If I remember correctly, we've done work like this before on Canva, so it shouldn't be too incredibly difficult to do. If I recall correctly, we did some work like this on in the Sebastian Rogers case, and I'm pretty sure I did Canva. I might have did it on my phone and just showed you guys the results. That's possible too. I very well could have done that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I did. Okay, I'm really not. We may have just done it with the products that came with Apple. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't remember. So we'll figure it out though. We'll get it figured out very quickly. Okay.
Guthrie case. Certainly would be more logical. More than one person on the Guthrie case. Certainly would be more logical and professional. Guy at the front, guy at the back, and a driver. If I was planning it, that would make sense. I don't think we're dealing with a smart planner. Same guy or different guy?
I think it's the same
guy. Did the FBI clean up the image on the right? Are these 2 different timestamps, or maybe even 2 different nights? 2 different nights, I'd be very surprised. So. She doesn't pay for the cloud. This video was in the pipeline. They've let slip the blood.
I will tell you my personal opinion of these 2 images. In all honesty, they're the same. I know people are looking at the shoes and stuff like that. One's a little more grainy and not as enhanced. One looks a little clearer, but I have to tell you this is just my personal opinion. And I know that my personal opinion may not bode with your personal opinion, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, this is the same person and this is the same night. So I just wanted to clarify my position on it. Because I feel that I don't like being wishy-washy, right? And I don't like being a flip-flopper. And sometimes we make mistakes on here and sometimes we don't. But in my professional opinion, this is the same exact person and this is on the same exact night.
Trail ends at the end of the driveway. To me, with an elderly, not very mobile person, that means vehicle. There aren't any streetlights, so they could park not very far away. This particular article said they have no vehicle leads. Down. What they should have said is they've had no vehicle leads the FBI's put out. It's no coincidence they showed gun store owners with 40 names and 40 photos. Got to get them from somewhere. I'm speculating cameras in the area catching vehicles and cell phone tower hits. Broken floodlight outside. The article says that's evidence there's another person. How long has it been broken? Did they bring a ladder? In the ransom email they first noted, they mentioned this broken floodlight. How available is that information? Could they have just searched it? There might be something break today or tomorrow, And I'm specific.
I don't know. I think there was enough footage out that day that if you scanned the footage from that day, I think it was on the original footage, to be honest with you. Don't think the perp on the left is more thick. No, it's just the way the camera is angled or looks, to be honest with you. Like I said, I mean, your opinions may differ. It's we really don't know, so there's no point in, back and forth. That's why I went ahead and just said, we're going to find out eventually. But my position is we're going to ultimately find out that this is the same person from the same night, just a different time in the night. Remember, we had a disconnection or attempted disconnection of a camera, and then we had another person coming before the camera at 2:12. That could have been the 2:12 mark. We did hear this 2:12. Thank you so much, Peggy. Prayers for Sebastian. I appreciate that. So it could have been just earlier in the night or later in the night, because remember, he was there for 41 minutes. And that's what we know of. That's you got to understand, that's when the cameras started being messed with. We don't know how long he was truly in that house or at that house. This is just the timeline we've been provided. We know we don't even know what time he arrived. We only know what time the cameras started being messed with. And we know what time her pacemaker detached from her Apple Watch. That's all we know. We don't really know how long they've been here. And if we know that they've been here for 41 minutes, there's no telling. They could have been there for an hour or 2 hours. They could have literally been in that house when she arrived home and after Tommaso left and started torturing her, for all we know. I mean, not that I'm trying to put that in your head, but I'm just saying we really don't know. Okay, let's see what we got here. We really just don't know. Are these two separate ones? Let's just see.
All right, it's going down. Authorities are now.
Let me translate that for you as a former police officer. They're not going to tell the public that they have a person of interest.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to tell the public that they have leads.
I agree.
Because the person who's involved in this, they know what they did. And they don't know what the police know. So when you think that you've gotten away with it, or you think that the police are not on to you, you think your DNA is not on anything in the house, then you'll become more careless and you will end up getting yourself into a pickle. Meaning that you think you covered it up enough that you will show up on television and either act like you were a witness or maybe be somebody in the family because they think they did enough job to get away with it. But in fact, the police department, I told y'all this from the very beginning. I think the police department know exactly who did it.
I hope so.
Or they have a tremendous, y'all this from the very beginning. I think the police department know exactly who did it. Or they have a tremendous lead. And I think what they're doing is they're waiting. Because once you arrest somebody, you only have a small period of time to prosecute that person before a grand jury. And if you arrest somebody too early, you don't have sufficient evidence, probable cause that will stick. You can get a case thrown out, and then therefore the trial is completely damaged, and you will never be able to prosecute that person. So sometimes they already know who they're going to arrest. They just need to collect as much evidence as they can to pin that person into the charge. Just like the Idaho murder. I told you guys, they know exactly who did it. They were trying to get metadata, this and this and this lined up, make the arrest so they can prosecute the guy in a reasonable amount of time. Let's go to the other one with Megyn Kelly, whom I have minimal respect for nowadays. But let's play this clip because I think Ashley Banfield, what's her last name? Banfield. Ashley Banfield has something interesting to say. Roll the clip.
So tell us what you say very reliable law
I
enforcement
heard that
source
Pandora
told you about a possible suspect in the case.
Sure. So after almost 4 decades in this business, I've collected a few friends at the FBI and in local law enforcement all over the country. And the source that I have is impeccable. And he said that not only were the cameras smashed, plural cameras smashed, so that the suspect likely knew about the locations of them, but that the car belonging to the sister of Savannah Guthrie, Annie Guthrie, was towed, impounded, and taken into evidence. And this is the wording. It's very important. The wording is very important. He said they now believe the son-in-law may be the prime suspect. Those are the words. Son-in-law may be the prime suspect at this point. And I'm very mindful. I covered the Elizabeth Smart case. I was out. So
Let me translate that for you as a former police officer. They're not going to tell the public that they have a person of interest. They're not going to tell the public that they have leads. Because the person who's involved in this, they know what they did. And they don't know what the police know.
So I think I got
about a possible suspect in the case. Sure. So the car belonging, the wording is very important. He said,
oh, and then it started over again. So that was the first one. Okay. And then he said the second one. Okay. Let me get to that one. Okay.
And a crazy story. The
Okay.
news has been asking me
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button.
almost every day from almost every news outlet except the leftist nut job ones to comment on Savannah Guthrie's case because I was a former police officer in Tucson. Obviously, this happened in Tucson, or at least she was, I don't know what happened to her, but allegedly she was kidnapped or she was murdered, whichever the case may be, up in the Catalina foothills in Tucson. Now, just for the sake of correctness, I was a Tucson police officer, and so this is out just north of Tucson's jurisdiction. So
interesting. He was one of yours, or one of Arizona's. I didn't know that.
That is
I know
needed
him
from local municipalities, then Tucson Police Department will be a help. Also, Miranda PD will be helpful as well. So this is a very, very broad investigatory case or investigative case, and there's a lot of breaking news coming out, and this one is the biggest. This, I don't know if this puts a wrench.
I think
in the
he did.
narrative, or is this consistent with
branched
the narrative that I believe? Let me just put it in perspective real quick, and then we're going to play this clip. But allegedly, we have video, which you can see to the left or right of me, depending on how you're looking at it, of a guy who has a mask on and gloves on, damaging the ring camera. Now, I'm just going to tell you what my instincts are saying. My instincts could be wrong. I'm not God. I don't know what happened. But what I will say is that this whole scenario seems almost as if, I'm not going to say it's staged, but it seems like there's more to this.
Yep.
And this is a ploy to deviate from what actually happened to Savannah's mother. Like the ransom note and all of that other stuff, I think it's a deviation. I think it's a distraction. I think there's something more sinister that happened here. And I think that the sinister behavior.
How many of you guys agree with that? If you guys agree with Officer Tatum's statement there, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree with it, put a 2 in the chat. Hey, baby love. To all prayers for all suffering animals and humans, emotionally, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby love. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. That's sweet. Well, hello, Brown Chicken. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Mary Ellen, Juicy Jules, it's nice to see you. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Yeah, I agree. I agree with him. Exactly. Because, you know, we've all been kind of talking about this for quite some time. You know, we've been talking about how we feel like somebody's not telling us something. Like, you know how you walk in, you guys know how you walk into the room and you know somebody's talking crap about you behind your back. Like everybody, like you walk back in the room and everybody just shuts up. You know, like, you know. Like, I feel like that's the way it is with this. Like there's just a piece that somebody's not telling us about something, about a family member, about a stalker. I mean, we brought up these exact things, and it's funny that Tatum's saying the same thing. But I got to tell you, I think he's hitting this out of the park. I think this is exactly how many of us are thinking and feeling. So let's keep going.
Happened to someone who either knew them or was very close to them. Now, I don't want to get sued for defaming anybody. But,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, in an investigation, the first person you look at is the people who saw her alive last. And we all know who saw alive last.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know that the investigators have gone to their house. And that is the son-in-law and Savannah Guthrie's sister. I'm not saying she did it because I don't know. But I do believe that somebody close to them had to have been acting in this. With that being said, let me play the doggone new clip and not run my mouth too long. Roll it.
Very early on, is that they were hoping that there would be data behind that camera. From what we were told by Kurt Knudsen, our cyber guy who helps us with this, analyze this stuff, he told me, and he told us when we were talking to him, that this could be what he had referred to as unseen data. What does that mean? That means that when you have these door ring apps, they collect data constantly, and they're trying to figure out what is it that the user.
And a crazy story. The news has been asking me almost every day from almost every news outlet except the leftist nut job ones to comment on Savannah Guthrie's case because I was a former police officer in Tucson.
Okay, I think
Obviously,
it
this happened.
Yeah, just flip back over. Okay, so we got it. I thought that was good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought that was good. But I think that is pretty much what we've been thinking. We think that I mean, this has felt so personal. Like, even when we tried to force this, this abduction, even if those people had no idea who this lady is, it still feels personal. It still feels so personal. And so, yeah, give me a second before you guys start calling in. The phones aren't open yet anyways. We're about to get there in just a few. Just give me just a few more moments. So we're dealing with this whole situation where this woman appears to have been abducted. It appears that we're starting to hear there's possibility of a second person on the scene. We're starting to hear of a possibility of seeing that car, which we brought up, days ago, about the vehicle being observed in the back. A little something to help you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, OG Jitterbug. I appreciate that. God bless you. Bless you. And so where the hell's Tommaso been? I get you, Driftwood. I think we'll talk about that in just a second. We're going to break some of this stuff down because you're going to have to put some, not that I'm making excuses for some of this, but we have to put a humanity hat on and take this from a different perspective and put you guys in certain shoes, okay? Because I think if you guys start sticking yourself in certain shoes and understanding the gravity of the situation, you might understand some of the behavior. Not that it excuses it. I would never do that, but I do like to give some perspective on this show so people have a good encompassing idea. So if they're going to be mad at somebody, they got the full view to be mad at them, not just a partial view. How did Noons Nation get fresh blood pictures that should have changed colors after? I don't know if it did or didn't. Oh, thank you, Southern Miss Gal. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know. We'll have to go through that. We'll let you guys call in and we'll do some research while you guys call in just a few moments. So let's get back to this. We heard what Tatum said, and then we'll get this. What else do I have behind here? Oh, we've already seen those. The car. Oh, and these are going to be at the end. These are all the interviews with yeah, okay. So we don't have too much here. Let's finish this one up.
Specifically thinking about public DNA databases. I don't know what the fastest turnaround for DNA is. I know there has to be court orders and paperwork, and that takes a few days. I'm like the rest of the internet. I want the answers yesterday. But it's worth noting the Idaho 4 case took 7 weeks to get a suspect arrested.
That's true.
And they were on him. They just weren't telling. That's good police work.
Do you know we were the first ones that reported from the scene from Washington State University and said that, because I was drinking coffee at Zoe's, which we were staying in Washington because it was just cheaper. We were on a budget. And I was sitting and drinking a cup of a latte, and I look across and it said Washington State University. And I just grabbed my camera and ran out and ran over there. And I'm like, I had no idea that two universities were in such close proximity to each other. And so I started recording right then and there. And like, is it possible that the person came from Washington State University? When I recorded that on December 1st. When they identified, December 2nd, when they identified Brian Koberger's car, they identified it on November 30th, around midnight. I think it was either November 30th or December 1st. I can't remember how the timing went, but we were like within 24, didn't know until the court, until Brian was arrested, about that timing and when they identified his car. But that was freaking creepy. And I still wonder to this day if he drove by or followed us, That was creepy. Oh, thank you, Melanie. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys thinking about that.
That's all for now.
Okay.
I may go live tonight.
Yeah, we don't care about you going live tonight. That's great. So we'll start pulling this up. I see that a few of you guys would like to get these phones open. So I'm going to go ahead and get these phones open. Give me just a second. Let me get Let me make sure that I can hear first. Let's check the ringing. Yeah, we can hear. Okay, good. All right, so the phones are open. The phone lines are open. Give me just a second before you call in because I want to get this screen. I just want to get the screen on here so we have something to look at while we've got this screen up. So there's the number. If you guys would like to call in and tell us your perspective, we're going to start working on some of the digital stuff. So while the phones are open, we're going to be talking about the case, but we're going to try to start taking some still shots and getting them in the system and seeing if we can start, focusing potentially on identifying anything in the shadows. It's a little bit difficult. You got to play around with it a little bit. It takes some time. So I may pull this screen up a little bit bigger when you guys start calling in. But there's the number. We'll keep the number up on the top, but I think I am going to fix this so we can start. Oops, no, I gotta wait until I get my other program open. And we'll start working on the enhancements of the imaging. So the number, guys, as you guys see above, it is 724-252-8070. If you guys would like to call in, tell me your perspective, what you guys think is going on in this case right now. Here is what we have so far. We have Pima County Sheriff that has cleared the family and their spouses. Social media is not accepting that as well because, in the grand scheme of things, everybody is looking at this case with skeptic eyes because Tommaso was one of the last people to see Miss Nancy, before this happened. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tennessee.
Well, hello. So what do you think happened here?
Well, I don't know if you believe in spiritual visions or not, but I've been having them.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighbor is involved. He's wearing the ring that's in the mask video with the masked man, the one he's wearing. I have pictures if I can send them to you.
Send them to bullhornbetty@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll pull them up here.
But I think he was involved in his son.
His son?
As
How
well.
old's his son?
I'm not sure, but I think he's mentally unstable.
Do you think maybe his son's mentally unstable?
Yes. But he was walking around on the road where Nancy lives in front of her house the very first day that media was out there. JLR recorded him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Even
I did
notice
see
the
some
ring.
of those. Yeah. And I know people had brought up the ring multiple times because they were looking at that, because I know it was social media that noticed the ring to begin with.
Yes.
So you think James is probably most likely involved in this too. And I think we brought that up. I think we were starting to look into that aspect of it as well.
Yes, and there's a woman. She's pregnant. She has dark hair, blue eyes. She wears it down. It's long. It's parted down the middle. And they're supposed to be at 3616 Sugar Pine Trail, I think was the address I'd seen.
Interesting. I'll pull a report on that. I'll pull a report on that. Well, thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
do you have any, I mean, if you're spiritually, looking in, what is the prognosis here? I mean, is Nancy, do you believe Nancy's gone?
She is alive, but she is struggling. Like, she's trying to fight to stay alive.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.
Very interesting. So that caller called from Tennessee and believes. Well, the good news is she believes that Nancy is still alive. It's very interesting because you know what, this has been coming up. I noticed in a couple feeds over the last 24 hours, people have been questioning whether they paid the ransom or not. You remember everything just went quiet and then they never heard anything again. I think Jason, his name's Jason, not James. Thank you. Jason, not James. Jason. I knew it started with a, sorry. Yeah, Jason. Thank you. But that's who I'm speaking of, Jason, not James. I don't know why I was thinking. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Betty, this is Georgia calling from North Carolina. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing, Miss Georgia?
Oh, I'm doing great. This case has me stumped.
I know.
But I want to know, has anybody heard one of the co-hosts that used to be on the Today Show, Matt Lauer?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, have they talked to him? Did him and Savannah have a bad end of a friendship, or just?
I
haven't heard
about
anything
that before.
Yeah, they worked together on the Today Show. They were co-hosts together when Matt got let go. But and I've read articles where it says she convinced the ladies to come forward, and then I read articles that she has stayed out of it, so I really don't know. It's just my opinion, but it does make me wonder because I haven't heard anybody mention him when they're talking about different scenarios.
So it says here, just so everybody can get, hold on a second, for whatever reason, I'm need to cough real quick.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So
okay.
I did Google search with them too, and it says, as of February 2026, the relationship between former Today Show anchor Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie remained complex, characterized by long periods of estrangement followed by a cordial 2023 reunion, with recent reports indicating Lauer is sympathetic toward the current personal crisis in Guthrie's family. It says support during the crisis following the disappearance of Savannah's mother, Nancy. Sources claim Lauer feels shaken by the situation. Background 2026. So it sounds like they did have a contentious type of relationship.
Yeah.
And he did lose his job as a result of it. How much money was that? I wonder how much money that contract was that he lost.
Yeah, I haven't. It was a lot. But, a couple of other things that stick out to me as I was going back and trying to compare the two is that when he did his offense, it was at the Olympics. And then Savannah was supposed to leave for the Olympics that Friday that her mom went missing. And I thought that was odd timing. But I've just haven't heard anybody talk about him. I don't know if he was just too far in the past or
well, I mean, I think the Tepe case, the Monique and Spencer Tepe case taught us that, her ex-husband, 8 years they were divorced, and he goes and breaks.
That's right.
She probably ain't even thinking about the man anymore. And here he is breaking into her house.
Yeah, that's that was terrifying.
That's scary as shit. And
Yeah.
I'm hearing that he used a keypad, so he must have remembered all of her passwords and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah. He was watching her with binoculars.
Oh, that's creepy.
Definitely. Yeah. But I thought about Matt because back when I started watching the Today Show, he had been a long time anchor on it. And then she come on, and I don't know if it was a year or two they had worked together before Matt's incident. But it just led me to believe. I wonder if they, talked to them two about the past, or if there's any, animosity between the two.
Because I got to tell you, well, somebody's saying that they believe the contract was like $25 million, and if that's correct,
Ooh.
that's money. That's
Yes.
that's gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Yes.
hurt the pocketbook there.
Yes.
Just saying,
Yes.
just a little bit.
So
just
it makes
a little
you
bit.
wonder.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Interesting. Because I do believe. Because listen, I'm not convinced she walked out of that house. I feel like she was on her last leg walking out of the house. I feel like this. Everybody keeps saying kidnapping and abduction, and I'm starting to feel like this was a hit.
Yeah.
This was a targeted hit. Like they came in there to disappear this lady.
Well, yeah, because it does make you wonder. I mean, yeah, TMZ says they've gotten ransom letters, and I have no clue if they're real or fake. But you would think they would have been more aggressive with that, like, like old school, send a picture of the newspaper being held up by the kidnapped victim to prove that they're still alive, and they've had none of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like they went there, took her, and that was it.
That was it. That's why I'm saying there's definitely in my calculations this is not a robbery. I don't think anybody with a police badge really is putting a whole lot of weight that this is a robbery, because professional robbers know how to score. They don't go into risky situations because their main goal is get what they want and get out without being caught. That's it. They're not wanting to deal with people. They're not wanting to deal with elderly people. They're not wanting to deal with confrontations. They don't want to deal with any of that. They want to get in, get their score, and get out.
Yeah.
And that's not what we have here.
No, and they didn't even take anything, or not that they're saying.
Right.
So just this one, and there's like no real positive information coming out other than the pictures and the little bit of video.
I have to believe
which was big.
Yeah, I have to believe, with Savannah not speaking out, she's either really, really struggling, which I know she is, but even if you're struggling, you're still wanting to find out what happened. So this silence is deafening, and it makes you wonder, like, do they know something? Like they had, it just makes you wonder, did she have a stalker that she's not telling us about? Did she have somebody that was really angry from her history? Because one of our audience members just brought up a Harvard professor that was shot 10 years later from animosity he had back in college with somebody.
Oh.
So,
wow.
And that was 10 years prior to that incident. So people are holding these grudges and resentments for a really, really long time and acting on them years later.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I'm hopeful that they've looked into everybody in her past, but I just haven't heard anybody else mention them, and I said, why? I'm going to just call in and talk to Betty about it.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome, and I hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon.
You too, love. You too. Chat soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So, there's so many things here and so many layers. It's hard for us to let go of family involvement. But if the family isn't involved, then there's somebody that's still I mean, we have to look at it both ways, because I can tell you the consensus for a lot of the journalists and a lot of the social media people, we've lost faith in the sheriff. I think that's the best way I can describe it. We've lost faith in the sheriff. The sheriff is giving mixed signals, giving mixed messages. He's not giving press conferences, and he's giving these one-off interviews, which is it's conflicting. It's conflicting information. He'll tell one thing to one reporter and another thing to another reporter, and we have two stories going out with conflicting information in it. I mean, it's pretty freaking. This is bad. This is bad. Like, they want us to tell our audience everything, but everything that we're telling them is conflicting with one another, because it depends on who he's speaking to and what day he's speaking to it. So we've got some of his interviews up just so we can identify it. And we need to go through all of these and start pulling all of these interviews and putting them into AI to find out how many times he has caused the communication issues. What do you think about the DNA? I'm hopeful with the DNA. I'm one of those people that also believe I don't think you can commit a crime without leaving something behind. So, this is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, Betty. I'm in Arizona.
Well, hello, Miss Arizona. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What do you think's going on?
I actually have a YouTube channel. I'm getting ready to do a little more activity on it. I did a bit ago, and then I had some stuff happen, so I'm actually considering going down and doing a couple of lives, but I have to see how that plays out. But I'm going to ask you a question, because I was watching JLR towards his ending show tonight on his streaming. Have you heard the latest talk from the sheriff to NBC today? Actually, it was recorded yesterday, and it was let out today. And I got to tell you, I'm fired up, and I want to go protest in front of the sheriff's office. This man is a wackadoo, and he's botched this thing. He's botched it. To me, my opinion, and this is allegedly my opinion,
Right.
He screwed this up from day one.
I agree.
But what he somewhat basically said in this interview with NBC, and I think when JLR read it, was that he went to NBC because that's where Savannah works.
Mm-hmm.
He said, get this. So, you know how he said he didn't want to give any of the DNA and he wanted everything to be sent to Florida and not give it to the FBI? They botched the DNA samples.
What? What do you mean they botched the DNA sample? Hold on, I'm pulling this up right now.
3 weeks since Nancy Guthrie was taken.
It got, like, crossed over in the testing or whatever. I know there's a word, and I can't think of it.
It's probably contaminated, cross-contamination.
There you go. Yeah, like, yeah. And then there was something else. He says it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take a year.
You're right. I remember hearing that.
So what does he know? Like, are we starting over from day one now? He has no suspects. There's nobody that they're looking at. I know that's a lie. I've got family that are law enforcement.
Well, we know that they have suspects. They've
got things close to their vest.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not talking to the public, and I think they told him not to because he opens his mouth and inserts foot.
That man leaks worse than I better keep that to myself. Anyways, I'm just saying he leaks a lot of stuff. He doesn't.
He does.
That man needs to learn.
No, you and I are on the same page. Yeah, and here's my thought. I have family that have been officers. I have a brother that's an officer right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this. He was here not too long ago. Why in the world would you release the house one day after this happened? And why in the world is it not blocked off?
And
There
he
shouldn't be
doubled
anybody
down
going
on
on to the house.
decision. And he doubled down on the blessed
Yes.
decision.
What the hell?
I get it.
Today, there was somebody, there was two, at least one, because it was recorded, somebody walked up to the damn house.
Yeah.
And the sheriff got out and told him to get off the property. Why in the world is it not taped off? I'm sorry. It should be taped off till they find.
Well, we saw the Idaho 4. I mean, there was no misunderstanding where the boundary line was. They kept that tape up from the day they took that up until the day that they took those bulldozers in there and bulldozed that house down. That crime scene tape was up the entire time, and the only time they took it down was when they fenced the building. When they fenced it, they put a chain link fence around it. That was the only time, and I still think, if I'm not mistaken, that they still had the crime scene tape up on
I think you're right. I remember seeing it. Yeah.
So
I don't know if you watched any of it today, but they went in today.
Mm-hmm.
They had all the media get out. They had to move their cars.
I didn't see it, but actually, since you're talking about it, why don't you break that down, because I didn't get a chance to see it. I do know that they were going in there, making it a one-way road and getting all media to one side of the road and stuff like that. So explain what happened so the audience knows.
So the sheriff's department came out with the PIO, and they were going around telling everybody that they were going to be coming in and putting barricades through the road, and that they were going to be canvassing the area. So my understanding was, like, they were going beyond the neighborhood because they got them all off that road. So the barricades are on the road. It's a one-way in now. They did allow the media to come back in, but I never really saw anybody canvassing unless they were, other houses other than Nancy's. But I don't know. And there was another streamer that was there. He left yesterday, and actually it was pretty good, but this is just crazy, Betty. He put his drone up, and there were media that were in the back part of her house, hiding back there, just sitting back there.
Oh my goodness! Well, I do know
it's on his drone video.
Well, I do know that there was a media company that rented the house directly behind her house. They rented the house. Oh. So if you saw some people back there, they rented that house. They have legal rights to be back there. They rented that house.
Maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah, they rented that house.
I thought it was really odd that.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear that.
I'm familiar with that because, believe it or not, when Gabby Petito was going on, they rented the front yards of the houses right next to her house. I think News Nation was paying something like $2,500 a week for for their place on the lawn right next to the laundry house. It was ridiculous how much money these mortgage or these media companies pour into these stories. I mean, it's ungodly amounts. We're lucky we can compete. I mean, at the end of the day, social media is out there competing with mainstream media, and they've got deep pockets, and we don't.
Yeah.
So
I have one other question.
Sure.
And maybe you or somebody in chat can clarify this for me. Do we know for sure, was the back door open like they said in the beginning?
I can tell you definitively that nobody has confirmed what door was open, but I have a belief it had to open the back door.
I thought I heard that the back door was wide open, which I thought
hear that. You did hear that.
Okay. I find that very odd because in this whole thing, and I love crime. I follow it I watch all the shows, and I've watched you and few other content creators and everything, and I'm just baffled. But I'm like, why in the world was the back door open? And if they're struggling and they're doing all this stuff in the front, did they go out the back? Was there, because if you, after looking at the drone video that Dolly brought up that he was doing yesterday, I could easily see, I'm thinking, holy crap, they could have gone out the back, nobody would even know.
Yeah, I think they came in the
kind of
back
triggered
and
me.
went out the front
It
because
triggered a thought with me when I saw that yesterday. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. The way
I don't know.
seeing it happen, it sounds like they may have breached the house through the back, maybe a back door, back window, or sliding glass door of some sort. So they breached into the house. It's my understanding that they took her out the front because their vehicle obviously was out the front. It was closer to take her out the front than it would be to try to get her around the back and
try to get out the back.
Yeah, and go all the way around and stuff like that. Just my opinion, even though I think it would have been easier for them to back the car up near the garage, and I think the back door would have probably been easier. But, again, I don't think these people were very ultra familiar with this property, which brings me again back to the question, why was she targeted? Obviously somebody put these people up to this, in my opinion. I think there's more to this.
I don't know, this whole thing. Okay, my mom's in her 80s. Why in the world did she Uber to her daughter's house and then the guy bring her home?
Right.
I will go to my mom's house and pick her up and take her home at night. And I would do that. I wouldn't allow, she doesn't want to drive at night. She's 85. And so I would go and get her, and then I would take her home if we went to dinner or something like that. I just find it very strange that you're going to Uber, but then family's going to take you home. Well, why didn't family come and pick you up?
Yeah. Well, the only thing I think that can explain that is obviously there could be something to be had there, but it innocently explaining, I know that there's been situations where I've made plans with something, and it's like something came up, and it's like, you know what? You go do this. I'll just Uber to your house. And that could have just been in. But we also need to look at this Uber driver, because that's another person that was introduced into the story as well. Because and they would have had.
I was thinking the same thing.
In cause and effect there. Being maybe the first time he came to the house, and I'm sure they know who the person is, but we don't.
Yeah.
Was the person
we don't know everything.
Was it a Hispanic male or female, or because we're hearing the DNA came back to a Hispanic male.
Yeah, I know. This is just the craziest case. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
But no, I just wanted to bring to your attention. I don't know if you knew about the report,
no,
but it's kind of a.
Send it to me and I'll play it here if you can find it. I pulled some stuff up, but I'm not going to be able to check it out until I get off with you and play it and see if it's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, I also want to say I'm happy to know that you're going to go to Tennessee. I've been following the Sebastian Rogers case since day one, and I wish I could go.
Yeah.
I feel it's very important, but I'm glad there's people that are going to be there to support him. He needs to be found too.
Cold. It's going to be pretty cold out there in the mornings, so I don't anticipate a lot of people being out there but me in the mornings. But if you guys want to come by, and always remember, if you're coming by to see old Betty, bring me a hot cup of coffee. I'm just saying, it's gonna be a little cold out there. So if you come and make sure that trip's worth it, okay? I can tell you, no matter what time of day it is or how many cups I have in front of me, I can always use one more.
Amen.
All right, honey.
Well, you're doing a great job. I like your channel, and keep up the great work for everything you do. And
likewise, if you want to go out there, I think everybody should. I like people getting involved. If you know anything about me, it's all about involvement. Action.
Well, I've had friends tell me, you've got a loud voice, and I think of you every time. Not that I don't mean that in a bad way. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go stand in front of this damn sheriff's office, and I'm going to just, I need to get some people. I know I can get people.
Yeah.
I could get people if I went and talked to JLR and talked to him on his channel. I know I'd get people in Tucson area.
Yeah.
Show up. Let's
Yeah,
protest it,
he's
because
kinda
this guy's a
tapped out of
wackadoo,
all
man.
that. He used to be the leader of the charge, but he just doesn't he doesn't advocate anymore. He's not an activist.
No.
He's kind of, I
Did
guess,
you hear that they have
commentator,
that they're
reporter.
doing a reality show?
Yeah.
Did you
they're
hear
doing
that?
You know what was funny is I was over at my best friend's tonight, and we were watching I think she had it on I don't remember what we were watching. We were watching like Harvey. She loves Harvey. I don't know if you like the Steve Harvey, you know, that game
Oh,
show.
yes. Yeah.
Anyway, she loves it. So that's what we watch on Saturday is we watch Steve Harvey or Steve Harvey fans on Saturday. But anyways, where was I going with this? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked to Steve Harvey. What were you talking about? You just asked me something.
His reality show.
Oh yeah, and it popped up a commercial, and I looked at her. I said, "That's Desert Law." I said, "That's the shit that this is where this lady's from." And her and I just looked at each other. That's what I was. Sorry, I get
I
sidetracked.
think he's more focused on that,
Yeah.
Betty, than anything else. I just,
But
I'm just
could
saying.
that have attracted this situation?
Yes, I think so.
You know, maybe
That's
it
been my
wasn't
thought
even
when,
Savannah being at
yeah,
the Today Show. Maybe this was just somebody that knew that this Desert Law thing was in their area and wanted to make
yep,
the news. I mean,
yep. He's all about attention, you know. He likes the attention.
well, the sheriff just lost his job. I mean, he's got it for as long as he's got this vote, and I'm pretty sure he's done. I think he's done. Like,
I think so too. I think just hearing from some of the Arizona people in the chats that I've watched, they're asking to recall this guy.
Yeah,
because he's not doing anything, and he's not turning it over to an agency that it should be with.
He's doing the
you know?
Guthries wrong. That's all. It's over,
Absolutely
over politics. We don't do this stuff. Okay, I'm sorry if my sheriff was doing this, and I'm telling you, I take personal responsibility. If you do not believe me, you can call down to any organization and ask them.
No, I watch you.
Everybody knows me.
Yeah.
And
yep.
You know, at the end of the day, if this was going on in my community, it would not happen. I would be out there with my bullhorn. Actually, I would do it a little diplomatically. I'd be making some phone calls, some very strong phone calls, and then after that, they would know. You know, we might as well go ahead and start cutting a road off for me. I'm coming in.
Yep.
You know, I'll stay on the sidewalks as long as I can.
Yeah. They need to get rid of the governor, and they need to get rid of him too. But that's another story.
That's another story for another day. But you guys just got to keep showing up at that ballot box. This is not going to get better until you guys vote this crap out. It's got to go. This could be anybody in Arizona that's watching this. This could be your family member. I just want to remind you.
Exactly.
No,
I know. I told my mom. I said I would go to hell and back if this was you. And I would be standing there, and I would be at that sheriff's office every damn day.
But your problem
this is
you're
another
not
thing.
A Guthrie. You would not get this kind of attention or this kind of service, period.
Exactly.
You know?
And here's the other thing. Why is she just doing Instagram? Why isn't she doing any public talking? Like, she should be like speaking out.
I think her siblings should take it. I think she's this is hitting her hard. She was a mama's baby girl, and her and her mom went through a lot together. And I just think this right here, I think she's utterly broken. When I saw her face on that last video,
I know
you could just tell.
And I heard she's not going back.
Yeah, she's not doing, this is not good for her at all. She's not.
No.
As you can imagine, it's her mom. I know we look at people and we think people, you know, I think we look at these people on TV much differently. We don't look at them like they're human beings sometimes. In my opinion, we know they're human beings, but we still don't consider that they are human beings. Like, they have feelings, they have lives, they have pain, they hurt, they have emotions.
But you can see it with her.
You can see it with her because they're
Yeah.
very genuine people, and that's why
Yeah.
this was an important case. And I'm conservative, so fighting with my own people because some of the disgusting statements they have, I don't play with that. A human being, at the end of the day, the hell with everything. At the end of the day,
Yep.
our us as a core human being, that should be the core of everybody. We should be looking out for each
Absolutely.
other above everything else. We don't have to like each other, okay? But when
Yep.
push comes to
Yep.
shove, we need to be there for each other. Because
Kindness.
our lives do matter. They may not matter to Joe Blow down the road, but they matter to our parents. They matter to our friends. They matter to our families. And at the end of the day, people hurt when we're not there. And there's a whole lot of people that are affected by this grandmother not being there. And I can tell you, there are probably a lot of young children that are dealing with a lot of emotions that us adults are having a hard time dealing with. And they're too young to be dealing with this, and they're having to deal with this.
Exactly. Amen.
So it's just not fair. It's just not fair, but life is not fair. So we just do what we can do, and we try to be good citizens and try to fight for the things that we fight for. And, we try to tell people to stand up and believe and fight for what they believe in. And if we all just did that, it doesn't matter whether we agree what comes out of our mouth. We're still being better for society. And that's what we need to be. So.
Exactly. Well, you have a safe trip to Tennessee, and thank you for allowing me to talk. And I will try and get you the interview.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great, because we'd like to hear it. I mean, it doesn't surprise me anymore. Like, I feel so bad for the Guthrie family for having this sheriff. And I would absolutely be down with a civil protest out there, just getting them in line and stuff like that. I would absolutely be on board with something like that. But
I'm going to see if I can work on that and put something together.
Yeah. So, but it has to,
All right, hon.
We always want it to be respectful, though. We can always raise our voices and stuff like that, but when we're out there, we got to be respectful. All right, love. Well, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, you have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, that was good. That was good. Wow, that was pretty long. I didn't realize it was as long as it was. Didn't realize it was that long. Okay, folks, it's nice to see you. So we did find some things that came up here, and I don't know if this is it. We did get 2 of them. This was from today. This might be still growing. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Jamalti from Georgia.
Well, hello. So what do you think is going... What did you say, Jamalsi? Did I...
Jamalti, yes.
Okay, well, it's nice. I like to say things right. I didn't know if I mispronunciated it. Okay. It's nice to meet you. So what do you think's going on here?
Well, I'll start out with a question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
The hot dog a sandwich. It is not a sandwich.
Yes or no?
No.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, have a great day, hot dog. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is Bill from Texas.
Well, hello, Bill from Texas. What do you think's going on with this case?
Well, I just got a couple observations, I guess. Me and my wife's been talking about it, but from all the news reports I've seen, and maybe it just hasn't, but it said the son-in-law just drove up at 10 o'clock at night and dropped his 84-year-old mother-in-law. And you know how dark it is around there. And, who wouldn't get out and walk your 84-year-old mother-in-law in the house? You got the code, you got the keys, you're the caregiver. I mean, I just don't know who, maybe that part just hadn't came out, but the way it sounded,
my understanding is that's what took the 2 minutes. We were wondering what took so long, like why it took her 2 minutes to get inside the house with the garage door opening. But we're actually hearing now. I haven't gotten it from a confirmed source, but I am hearing that the reason why it took 2 minutes is because he did walk her into the house.
Okay, and my other thing is,
I just want to caution you that's not reliable. But that's
right. And it said I think the timeline was like 9:46 or something. He dropped her off. But I was just wondering, do they know what time he arrived back? Does Annie have doorbell cameras? Was that verified or?
Good question, and from everything that I've learned so far, that has never been verified, because that was one of the questions that still are unchecked on my roster of questions. So, yeah, I don't know when he arrived back. I don't know the specific time they left their home to drop her off, and I don't know how long it took him from the time he dropped her off to the time he got back to the home. I don't have those times.
Yeah, it just. I don't know.
It means, no, trust me, I get it, that those times do mean, those have value. If they're only 15 minutes away, but it took him a half an hour to get back home, that matters.
Yes.
So I understand why, and it's a question that I have that's gone unanswered. And I pay attention, every time we listen to little news, I try to get, if there's something in there, I try to plug, some information on my list of questions. But we have a lot more questions now than we once did. And I think it's a direct result of the handling of the sheriff.
I do too. And I can't help but think, though, from the messages that Savannah has been putting out, is it? I feel like she has, or if she has it, the FBI has it, an ideal of who it may be. The way she's phrasing it, the way she's saying it, and that's just.
It is weird the way she's communicating, because we see her on the Today Show, and she's very eloquent in her speech and how she speaks, and it's like all of a sudden the communication's very cryptic, like I don't know, like a message in a message.
Right, it just feels like at least they have an ideal of who it could be, and I don't know, maybe she's someplace that they can't get to her. They got to, and as far as the blood on the, I think somebody was already in the house. I think there were at least two. Somebody unlocked the door. Now, as far as the blood, because I'm on blood thinners myself, and it don't take much of a scratch, and you do bleed a lot. And and I'm hoping that's all it was, and I'm hoping she's safe. But I can speak from experience. It don't take a big scratch or a cut, and it's hard to get to stop bleeding. And it does look like a scene. It could be something other than what it is, but I'm hoping for the best for her. I've been following you ever since this. I just came across your channel on YouTube, and I've been watching you ever since.
I appreciate it. I try to break these cases down and just try to cut through the fat, because there's just too much fat in our society, when it comes to news, and we just want to get to the truth of it. We want to strip all the crap out of it and just find out what happened to her. And
well, to me, if you really, the little pieces, I don't know, maybe that's all the video they have. But to me, the more you could put in the public as far as images, and people get eyes on it, the better chance maybe somebody recognizes something.
Yeah.
Maybe you apparently it's not. What you're doing now is not working, so put it out there. What
we need more.
We do. Well, I appreciate it, Betty.
Yep.
You do a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, this is difficult, and I get the point, because I think we're all still stuck on Tommaso. I mean, Tommaso, last person to see her. This seems so ultra personal. We don't know these people, so everybody. We're hearing that Annie and Tommaso's relationship was failing, that they were having some marital problems, to say the least. But we also heard he was a gambler and was in all this gambling debt, which didn't prove to be very fruitful or truthful with the information that we do have related to this case. But at the end of the day, this case does defy logic. It does not make sense. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington State, Betty.
Hello, Washington State. How are you doing and what do you think happened?
Oh, well, I think we're looking at something other than what's really happening here. A lot of people don't know. You got to look into who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Who was her husband? Her husband worked for Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. He was a cleaner. So people ain't talking about that. You're not going to get that kind of information. You can get that information.
Oh, you're talking about Savannah's husband.
No, I'm talking about the older lady that
her
her
husband
mom.
Also. Okay. So. Okay.
Yeah, he died at 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You can get on Grok and say what is the connection between her and Epstein, and that's what it'll show.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are all connected from Bill Barr to Epstein to the Clintons. I think this was all a setup because there's a lot of money to be made. There's a diversion on the Epstein files. There's a lot of disinformation that's going on. And what best way to do it is to swarm. And that's what they're doing.
So you think this is a political hit or control mechanism, like a maneuver?
Oh, of course. You're talking people with billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. We're not talking millions. We're talking billions. These people have connections everywhere.
Yeah, but what would be the purpose of taking her out or silencing her? What information did she have that she would be releasing that she wouldn't have released over the last few decades?
Well, look what's going on. They're not showing you no vehicle.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, they're throwing up these gloves and being found everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's a distraction. It's a distraction. I could pretty much tell you I'm not an investigator, but this is all planned. So there's money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably put on a plane, which nobody has looked at.
Yeah.
What flights were left? Private flights. We're not talking, a regular planes.
Right.
We're talking private flights. These guys got money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why else would you not want the FBI involved?
Right.
I mean, this is your mom missing. You don't want the FBI involved?
Well, in all fairness, I think she's the one that got the FBI involved early, because my understanding, when she realized her mom was missing, she reached out to Senator Mark Kelly. And even though Senator Mark Kelly and President Donald J. Trump don't get along and don't like each other, he called President Trump, and President Trump reached out to Patel. And it's my understanding that they started, getting as many agents in the area as possible. Don't count me. Don't hold my feet to the fire. That's just my understanding of how that.
Yeah, she's a real long-time friend of Mark Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, and what situation did they get themselves into?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. All of this is a diversion. They don't want you to listen to something. They want you to listen to this. They're keeping you distracted.
Gotcha.
And we're talking millions of people in the United States. That's all they're talking about on YouTube, all these little channels, all the mainstream media. They're camping in front of her house. Nothing's going to happen at her house. She's not there. What do they think? The cops are going to roll up and do a conversation with everybody? It's not going to happen.
So
they're going to go to the main.
Where do you think that they ultimately? Well, let me ask you this: do you believe that she is dead or alive? And do you think they're going to find her?
She's alive.
Okay.
She's probably in the Bahamas somewhere.
Okay.
She's 80. She's 80 some years old.
Mm-hmm.
Either she's dead or alive. I mean,
right.
It's there. I don't know what side of the aisle. It doesn't really go to Republican or Democrat.
And the island's kind of fictitious, anyways. It could be anywhere, right? You're just saying someplace.
Right. Well, Why else was they worried about her safe? They just had a guy come in there and open her safe. Because her husband knew everything. He was into everything.
That means
You're talking
if they didn't have, wait a minute, you just made a valid point. If they didn't have her safe open and they were there 41 minutes, how do they know that there was nothing missing from the safe until just the other day?
Well, here's another important part for you. Okay, they say they took her out of. They keep saying, "Oh, she was taken out of her bed."
Mm-hmm.
There's no forced entry at that door.
Not the front door. There's no way, because that front door is a steel door.
Yeah, in that whole house, there's no forced entry.
Mm-hmm.
So she was never in the bed. But they never talk about the person that's the daycare person that's watching her, helping her. They're not, to clean her house.
Right.
They're not talking about it. It's all a distraction. This sheriff is involved with it. You got 90, I think I heard today, 95 investigators to that police department. And nobody could figure it out.
Right.
I mean, I'm from a little town. So if I'm looking for somebody, I'm going to find them within 48 hours.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
You know
and that's
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
say about most of our cases. If they're really missing, they're found fairly quickly. It's when they're not really missing that cases drag on and on and on. So.
And that sheriff doesn't even want people looking for her.
Right. I know that's what's upsetting me tonight. That's that's one of the things that I was talking about when I came in here is how do you tell somebody they need a permit to look for a missing person and a missing elderly person? I would look at that. I would look at that sheriff and laugh in his face if he said that to me. Like that is laughable.
I just called in and want to let everybody know you got to look a little deeper.
Yeah.
You got to look who her husband was.
Okay. Well, I'll do some more.
Who he was involved with, who his daughter's involved with.
Yeah, I knew about her daughter. I knew about Savannah, but I never even thought about, because Nancy's husband's been dead for so long that I never even thought to look past, her and her kids. I looked in their kids' lives because they're the ones here, but I never even considered her husband or, what kind of connections that her husband may have had.
Well, why this connects is, I don't know if you're aware of it, isn't Hillary Clinton supposed to go in front of Congress here pretty quick?
Her and Bill, they were about to be in contempt of Congress. They were going to file arrest warrants against them, and they changed their mind. So yeah, they were coming in for I don't know when. These are things I heard of before this case. Obviously, I've been entrenched in this case. I haven't had a chance to really come up for air much.
I just want to say one more thing, and I'll let everybody go.
Sure.
But this has nothing to do with Democrat, Republicans. This has to do with good and evil.
Right.
And there's a lot of people don't know, Cross and Bones, the Masons, Luciferians. We've been ruled by a lot of wild stuff. I mean, look at P. Diddy. There's so much stuff that Trump's dragging out. But, I follow QAnon. Everybody don't know what QAnon is. Q asks the question, and Anon figures it out. Anon would be me and you.
Mm.
And it started by a crossword puzzles.
Interesting.
And
I didn't get into
this was being talked about in 2016, and it's playing out, and that's what you're seeing.
Yeah. Insane.
It's all going to come to light, one way or another. It will.
Yeah.
You're on the TV reporting it. You're digging. You know where it's heading. So I'll let you guys go. You guys have a good night.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so let's see if this is I'm going to just give me a second before I turn the phones back on. Let's just, I wanted to find out if we got the right.
3 weeks since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her Tucson home, investigators are still searching for clues.
It's never fast enough for the sheriff. I want it like you. Come on, guys, let's go, let's find her. But the reality is I also know that sometimes things take time.
Late Friday, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos sat down with NBC News to take stock of the investigation so far.
Are there names you're looking into?
No.
Would you say the investigation is growing or shrinking?
In terms of leads and working and getting out there, I think that's still growing, yeah.
A big break in the case, this Nest camera footage released 11 days ago, showing a suspect on Guthrie's doorstep the night of the kidnapping.
I think we're getting a little closer to identifying some of the other articles, not just that backpack, like the shoes, the pants, the shirt or jacket.
Another key lead, unknown DNA found inside the Guthrie home, potentially belonging to the suspect. Nano says the samples are mixed, meaning they contain DNA from more than one person, making it harder to run through national databases.
Our lab tells us that there's challenges with it. The technology.
So that, I think this is what the, who was it, Arizona? Miss Arizona was talking about. Yeah, it was Miss Arizona was talking about the NBC, and this is multiple. They have ways. We talked about, and we looked at the DNA, splitting the DNA up. And they do have ways of doing that. And it should not be this, this difficult. It shouldn't be. It is a process, but it's a process that happens common. It's common when you have violent crimes that multiple DNAs get mixed together, right? Because you're either R-ing somebody or murdering somebody, and your blood and their blood gets, combined. Be careful with the JCs up in the chat. I hope Nancy is found. Yeah, we do too. So it is the FBI that has 40 names, maybe. Yeah, it sounds like that, Sunflower. That's what I'm gathering, because it sounds like it was the FBI going to the gun shops. Nancy refinanced her house 3 times, I've read. I would head to the bank to find out who took her to the bank for the refinancing of her house. Oh, that's interesting. If you have any documents on that, send them to me. It doesn't work like I see what I'm supposed to see. I'm not a psychic. If you don't believe, it's okay. I don't know what I was seeing when I first started, took the time to understand. It's okay. That's cool of them to reach out to the sheriff. These groups is called Mexican Mothers. Yeah, but for them to be pushed away, there's... I've done a lot of these things. I've done a lot, okay? More than the average person. I've gone out to searches. I've gone out to investigations. I've been part of big cases, small cases, no-name cases, trying to make them big cases to help bring attention to the cases. We've done a lot of stuff on this channel. And I have never seen anybody outside of Sumner County and now this turn volunteers away. That's pompous, it's arrogant, and does not help the cases, period. I don't care what excuse they give you. It's arrogant, it's pompous, and it doesn't help the case. Obviously, more eyes, more bodies out there is always what needs to happen in many of these cases, period. But they did. In many of the cases that I've been, even cases where they've just, there was so much attention, they ended up opening up places for people to search, just because there were so many people to search. They knew that the people going out there and searching that area was not going to find a damn thing. But they still put them out there to work. Why? Because they showed up. They showed up to help a little boy, to help find a little boy. Okay? We had thousands of people, or I should say hundreds of people to 1,000 people show up for J.J. Rollins, and that was in Brooksville. You guys can look it up if you don't believe me, and find your own receipts. And I got to tell you, they put us in fields, lots of fields out there. It was a lot of, desolate area near the house. They didn't want us anywhere near their search area. So they put us, it took me some time, before I realized what had happened. Obviously the boy was found, the case was over before I realized the technique that they used, because again, I'm an analyst. I analyze literally everything. I analyze people's behavior. I literally sit, even when I'm at my meetings, all I do is sit in a chair and look at our employees and look at their behavior when they think nobody's looking at them. Like, I do nothing but analyze people, analyze cases, analyze, and figure out what it all means, okay? That was probably, the most constructive thing you can do. And you know what? The sheriff looks like a hero, right? He puts people out in a place. He keeps them out of the officer's hair. He's got this all, people register. So now he's getting names. So, many people, if that boy really was abducted or murdered or something, many people return to the scene of the crime. So now he's using it to get leads. Why? Because one of those people in those hundreds of people might be the suspect. So there's clever ways of doing things in law enforcement. But it takes an officer not being arrogant, being able to take suggestions and constructive criticism, because there's people like me that literally travel all over the country that see law enforcement firsthand, the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And I got to tell you, this case here, and it's pretty stinking sad because it is Savannah Guthrie's mom. And unfortunately, this is pretty bad. This is probably by far, outside of Sumner County, one of the worst investigative cases I've seen. I'm just putting it out there like that. I feel bad that this is the legacy of this sheriff that has given so much of his time and energy to this community and has served his community. But the bottom line is the politics have caused all of this. And now, instead of standing with dignity, he's choosing to stand on arrogance. And that we cannot have. There's a time and a place for everything, right? You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You got to know when to come together and when to let go. And at this time, we all need to be coming together. But let's face it, the FBI's got this. They need the county to move the hell out of their way and let them do their job. That's the way I'm looking at this. This has been a fumbling mess ever since, because and I don't want to be overcritical. It has nothing to do but the fact that they have no senior investigators. They've got none, folks. They've got no senior investigators. Their investigators have 1, 2, 3 years experience at the most. That's not good enough for a case like this. It's just not. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be real. This is real life, okay? And people make mistakes, and you're going to get more mistakes with younger and less trained individuals. And that's what we're dealing with here, okay? What we saw here, a senior sheriff like this should never have allowed to make. He should have been at that scene. He should have been controlling that scene. He should have been making sure that his people were in command, top down. He should have been out there. He should have been micromanaging every blessed thing. But he was not. He was sitting in his office with his thumb up his ass. And we know that because when he came out for his first press conference, everything has been retracted. So this is a man that had no clue what the flip he was talking about. None. And he still, to this day, seems to be a fumbling mess.
Technology is moving so fast and in such a frenzy that they think some of this stuff will resolve itself just in a matter of weeks, months, or maybe a year.
21 days in, no arrests, no named suspect, and still no sign of Nancy.
What's your message to the Guthrie family?
We're not quitting. We'll find her.
And who wants a freaking sheriff that cries on cue? Savannah Guthrie, if you are listening to the Bullhorn Betty channel, my suggestion to you, my friend, would be to make sure this man never serves office again. That means you're going to have to put some real money up to go against somebody. And it's time for you to get yourself private investigators and the best of the best to do some work here. Or force this, put the noose around his balls and tighten it, honey, until they turn purple. And tell him to give this freaking case over to the feds. He's not doing your mom or you any justice. I am so sorry for what this family has gone through. I am incredibly disheartened that this is the reality of what we're going through. Is it political? It could be. Is it something else? It could be. Is it the family? You know what? Let's be honest. It could be. We don't know what the hell we're dealing with here. All we know is what we've been told doesn't make any sense. And every time we ask questions, we're being condemned as being evil, horrible, armchair detectives, whatever. Never care about our degrees or anything like that, thinking that we're just fell out of our mama's womb and onto the floor and decided to put a microphone in our face, right? Having no earthly idea where we come from or our expertise. And at the end of the day, many of us just have regular on-the-job training. We've been out there at these jobs. We've seen how officers help. And I got to tell you, this is my first cry, whatever, cry baby, okay? A wabag. This is my first wabag sheriff, okay? I don't know how to deal with it. Did I tell you guys, like, I don't like emotion, right? We don't need there's no crying in baseball. What the hell? I can't. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, folks. I don't know what to do. So, if you're in a town and connected to people and he already has a history of holding back evidence 6 years ago and other issues, and he doesn't like the FBI, he shouldn't have been allowed to. He's the voted sheriff. There's jurisdiction. I mean, this is where Sebastian's law is really important for us to have in this country. This is exactly why we should all be getting behind Sebastian's law, where it allows us and gives us more control to take these cases out of these corrupted sheriff's hands and move it up the pipeline. That's exactly the type of help Sebastian's law provides on a federal level. And there are so much stuff that we need to be doing in this country to protect ourselves. And people need to be doing things to protect themselves as well. You need to be more vigilant. If you're in a high crime area, you're already vigilant because you're in a high crime area. So you guys, I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to all you people that think you are in a safe community. You're the people I'm speaking to because you're the ones that are living with blinders over your eyes. Crime does not know boundaries, okay? Crime doesn't know good area and bad area. Crime says, ooh, you look like you got more than what I got, and I want what you got. That's what crime looks like, okay? So I'm telling you, you folks that are in these high areas or live in nice homes, it's time for you guys to take personal responsibility for yourselves as well, because I just want to remind you, Nancy Guthrie was living in $1 million home. Okay? And maybe this was related to her famous daughter. Maybe it wasn't. But at the end of the day, you need to protect yourself. And public safety has to be paramount. It has to be paramount to anything else. Okay? Yet that even means the wilderness. I know that there's got to be some solutions in the middle of the road where we can have a nice, darker area, right? With some more lights that don't glow further out, that kind of glow down. There's other things that can happen that's kind of a middle of the road approach, but being out there in all of this darkness at this point, after what we've just witnessed and saw, yeah, it ain't working. When you got that many people creeping in the middle of the night, your livelihood, your lifestyle ain't working. If I saw, that makes me, it sickens me. Like, I ever since this case and seeing that many people creeping about at night, in the middle of the night, y'all, I'm locking the windows. I'm going and checking the doors 3 times. How many of you guys are checking your doors multiple times a night before you go to bed from this case? I certainly am. So, I don't know about y'all. Now, we were going to go through the videos and stuff like that, but as you guys can see, it's already 10:30. It's late. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. We're going to have to do it tomorrow. Guys, and I will tell you, tomorrow is going to be a weird day for us, because I'm not going to be able to be on here all day, or, even 2 videos or 2 shows, because I'm leaving at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Not in the morning tomorrow morning, but, Monday, going into Monday morning. So I'm going to have to go to sleep early on Sunday. So it depends on, it's already 11:30. Am I going to be up at the crack of dawn to do a live before church tomorrow? I don't know. But, if we do one live tomorrow, come in and let's chat. But other than that, I'm going to see you all in Tennessee. Okay? Even if you guys can't be all, thank you, Sheila. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to be in Tennessee, so please support the channel. You guys know we have a day drive back, so we always need support on those days too. So I try to go, turn on the camera while I'm driving, while we're driving to or from, just so you guys can see that I'm doing well and everything's going well. So those drop a lot because we're traveling from place to place. So those do drop a lot. So if we do a live and you see me in motion, stick around until it picks back up. There's no, I know it gets a little frustrating sometimes, but I drop when I'm driving. But we'll try to get something more stable. I have to find out more stability. I might purchase, like maybe some internet for the vehicle or something like that. I don't know how all that works, so I'll find out. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a great night. Have a happy Saturday. Please stay safe if you guys are going out tonight. You guys know my policy. If you're going to be drinking, there shouldn't be any driving. You shouldn't even bother taking your car. Just Uber there. If you Uber there, you don't have to worry about getting too drunk that you forget that you need to Uber home instead of driving. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I feel you, But for the grace of God, there go I. I'm just saying. I happily do not drink anymore. I don't have to worry about it. I ain't going to be your DD either because I don't like to be around it. I don't like to be around none of that junk. So you guys have a great night. Go have your fun, but do it safely. I'd like to see you guys coming back, okay? I'd like to see you guys come on back. And you can't come back if you're in jail or in the morgue. So let's not drink or drive. Let's save a life. All right, guys. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Might as well. Yeah, don't be like Betty and drink it at home. Well, there you go. It's the best kind of drinking. All right, you guys have a great night. God bless.